Well, I'm about to go off the Cairns. You can hear the crap I have to put up with my neighbour's yappy dog. It just goes into convulsions of barking from time to time. Drives me nuts. My dog never did that, but anyway, we'll get off to the bus stop and get away from this noise. I had an absolute shocker of a night, sleep-wise. I don't think I slept at all. Had an alcohol-free night, and it was a disaster for me. So I'm feeling better than I should. I should be feeling like a total zombie because I don't think I hardly got any sleep at all. These things tend to build up in your system, these meds. And it can get a bit beyond a joke after a while. Well, at least it's not raining. It's quite cool, actually. Very cool morning by our standards. And borderline wind sheet weather, really. But it should warm up pretty quickly. That's the beauty of being here. I think Steve is bidding farewell to his mum and his son today. Son from Sydney. They're both from Sydney, so I guess they're flying back together. And tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be back into the sports club, the Trinity Sports Club, with my neighbours and having one of their wonderful pizzas. Not my neighbours' wonderful pizzas, but they do barbecues. That's Steve's forte. But no, I'm talking about the Trinity Sports Club, the $13 pizzas. I've got one of the McCain pizzas in my freezer that I bought a couple of months ago, and it just doesn't hold up. I don't know if I'll ever bother heating it up, to be honest with you, because once you've been spoilt with a decent pizza, it does cost more than the frozen ones, but it's a far superior product. So I'm more than happy to pay the extra, but it's a pretty good deal. $13 for any pizzas these days with a decent topping is a very good deal in my opinion. About this area, coming back from my walk, exploring the work that had been done on the bike trail, coming back up Gannett Street where I am right now, a lady walked past me, just said hello, and the guy you saw in frame just beforehand with that big dog, he also said hello. So it's a nice area, people are friendly, and it's a good quality of life. And I never thought I'd end up in suburbia. I thought those days were over, but I'm very happy with my move. Oh, they did get rid of the couch. Look at that, the couch is gone. That looks a little less messy. It was a pretty ugly looking piece of furniture. So that's gone. Although it would be nice to have something to sit on, I think. That is a good idea. But and the shelter would be nice when we're having inclement weather, which we've had a lot of over winter. It's weird how the mind works. I use a particular login for my computer every day, with the Windows login screen. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe because I was sleep deprived last night, but I just couldn't remember it. Even though I keep putting it in, I don't actually remember it. It's just muscle memory, you just follow the same routine and you've got it. And I put in the wrong one. I convinced myself it was a different password, and I put the wrong one in twice, and luckily I had a stab at the third time at the one I thought might be the password, and it was. Because, if I hadn't, I would have had to go through all those questions, which is a pain. Because the questions can be problematic too. Because I'll ask you stuff about which school you went to and what's your favourite city. And, the school you went to doesn't change, although I'm pretty bad with the spelling, so there's two ways I could spell the primary school I went to. And, and of course, invariably, I'll pick the wrong spelling when I'm trying to get verification. And as far as the favourite city's concerned, it used to be Seville in Spain. Now I'd probably say Saigon in Vietnam. Not that it's a bit of a love-hate thing with Saigon. Saigon's the the smog I hate. And I don't necessarily like it being a super busy city, but it is a nice contrast to here, going from a provincial touristy town to a huge, or the biggest city in Vietnam, is a bit of a culture change, and maybe that's a good thing. But the main reason, of course, is it's got my favourite pub there, so the social life is guaranteed. And it's going to be interesting to see what Nha Trang's like, because they've got a few pubs there, got a few bars, so there's quite a variety, but are they going to be decent? That's the question. So hopefully yes. Just sheer weight of numbers should probably guarantee there'll be a decent social outlet. A very pleasant place to stay though. It's lovely beach, go down and swim and what have you, but I do enjoy the social life, meeting up with fellow travellers and expats and the like. I find that interesting, nice contrast. And yeah, it's a different scene here. It's a nice scene, but it's just nice contrast. That's the thing about travel, puts you out of your comfort zone and makes you think about different cultures and ways of living, and find it stimulating. But I have my hearing aid, they say repaired. What it probably needs is just wax removed, but I can't work out how to do it efficiently, and with my bad eyesight it makes it a bit difficult. And there's no video specifically referring to the unit that I've been given, which would be very useful. I find those how-to YouTube videos very useful. So unfortunately, there's so many models around, it's very difficult to work out which is which, and if there is a video on it, I couldn't find it. So I'll mention that today. Hopefully I'll get the Filipino lady. She's quite nice. There's two people that, well, she used to work there. Hopefully she's still working there. And this other guy was, had a guy in last time I went, and I wasn't as impressed. Mainly because of the, just didn't click with him socially like I did with it. She's a very easygoing person. She's quite nice. And but yeah, chances are I'll probably get the guy again, but it doesn't matter as long as they fix the hearing aid, because the reason I want to get the hearing aid done specifically is to see if it'll help me learn Vietnamese, being a tonal language. Your hearing is very important. There's the bus, so that's not bad. So being a tonal language, you do need to really hear those differentiations in tones, and there's about 6 tones, and boy, it'll take a lot of practice for me to work out how they really differentiate. It can be quite subtle, and it depends on the person speaking online too, because some of the audio quality on those YouTube videos isn't really good, and you need top quality because we're talking about subtleties in tones, and so basically I need all the help I can get. That's why I want to have the hearing aid working order, because it'll emphasize the higher pitched tones which I'm missing out on at old age. They're the ones dropping off, and the hearing aid actually does boost them. It gives you a bit of a tinny sound. I mean, it's the cheapest model they've got. It's a freebie for anyone on benefits or on pension, so I can't complain. So you can pay anything for a hearing aid depending on how sophisticated it is. This one's a basic unit, so you can't expect the earth. It does help, but it's got limited improvement, I'd say. But it might be important if I want to really learn Vietnamese, and I'm thinking about possibly getting a one-on-one tutor, because I mean obviously it'd be a lot cheaper to do that over there than here. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. I think you can probably get someone for about $5 or $10 an hour to do that, and it's not too bad. So it's just frustrating to me, because you think you know how to say a word, and you've been doing it for ages, but sometimes it just doesn't register with the person hearing it, and it can be very frustrating. That was a fairly successful bus trip back from Smithfield. I got everything I need to get done there. I got the my hearing aid was gummed up with wax, and the girl there was very obliging and said, look, anytime you got problems with it, just pop in and you can we can clean it up for you. So they're happy to keep doing that. And got a bit of shopping done as well. And I bought myself a new pair of runners at Kmart, and they seem to fit okay. So all in all, pretty good. And the best thing about it is I got the 110 bus. I ended up getting an e-bus finally. It's been a long time between drinks. They are much nicer to ride in, I've got to say. And it stopped at the James Cook highway stop just before the roundabout for Kawara Beach. And the driver was, of course, confused that I wanted to switch to the Kawara bus. He's assuming most people want to go to Palm Cove, I guess. But got it sorted out. And the timing was good because it was only a minute after my bus, the 110 had arrived, the 111 showed up, so it was perfect. So saved me a lot of hoofing, getting me home probably about 1:30, I imagine. So not bad really, considering all the extra stuff I had to do today. I think next week I've got to go in about midday. They're changing the schedule for me on me, so I'm going to be doing an afternoon session. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but at least I have my coffee in the morning, I suppose. The weather's fine. Cool, definitely cool, but not raining. So quite pleasant. Good for walking, doing any physical activity. Good for making coffee. Oh God, the plovers are out. I've got to navigate past them and their bloody chick. They're making a lot of noise. I don't know which direction to go because I can't see where the bloody the young plover is. I'll skirt it if I can, but that's the problem being short-sighted. I can't see the small chick, and that's what they always protect. So I'll just wander down here, and hopefully they won't go berserk. Friday, happy hour day at the beach house, and we have the rarest of commodities, sunshine. It's been a while. It's been a few days, that's for sure. It's actually quite a nice day today, but it just tends to alternate a lot. Apparently we're going to get a bit more wet weather next week, but not much actual rain, so I guess that's something. But it's been quite nippy this week. It's been a very cool week. I don't know how my cousin's going in Queensland. She's in the Gold Coast at the moment, so I would say that they must be getting high teen weather there, because we're just getting barely above 20 degrees here. Today I think it's going to be about 24, which is relative heat wave at the moment. But no, but like I say, it looks like it's a very pleasant day for a walk down to the pub. I can't see it being showered upon today. We have had a few days like that where it's been iffy, but not today. It's looking beautiful. A bit of wallaby watching. I can even see them, so they must be reasonably prominent. Little bar, love it. It's got a fantastic view, and the bar stuff are pretty damn good as well. The only problem is where I'm heading to now, which is the toilets. The toilets are a nightmare. We seem to have this pattern of weather at the moment. We have days like this, but there's no guarantee that the whole day will work out this way. Yesterday morning was also clear, and the afternoon was grey and drizzly. So I decided to put off my walk until today. And the reason I'm walking down to the beach isn't just because I want to see what's happening with the leisure trail, the Northern Beaches Leisure Trail. I also, it's a preventative measure for back health, because my last attempt at going overseas was basically sabotaged by having back pain spasms about 2 weeks prior to the actual trip. I've got a bit more time than that now, but what I'm going to do is just get into a pattern of walking nearly every day for about half an hour or so, just as a preventative measure, because I'd be really unhappy if I had to cancel another trip. So that would not go down well with me. So it's a sensible thing to do, just walking today, because I've got such a late start. I'm actually heading off at 9 o'clock down to the beach, which I don't normally do. Normally I would head off in the afternoon around 4ish, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll see what happens. I might wander down the actual beach itself and see what's happening with construction, but my neighbour Steve, he told me that they had made some progress with the surfacing of the actual bike track itself. They put the rebarb in, so that was a few days ago. Maybe some concrete's been poured, although the weather has been iffy, so maybe it hasn't, but that's what I want to find out. It's always nice to just wander down to the beach anyway, and that was the reason why I bought this place near the beach, to sort of enjoy that sort of lifestyle on your doorstep in effect. But as it's turned out, as I've said many times, I'm just not doing as much walking here as when I was in Parramatta Park. Now that situation will probably change for two reasons. One, we'll have the bike trail finished, hopefully by the end of this year or early next year at the latest. Their due date is, I think, about March next year, but hopefully it'll be earlier than that. And in the same time frame, we're looking at the Woolworths being built, and that should be the end of this year, I would think. And having a Woolies in walking distance will be very good for my health, because a half-hour walk for me psychologically is a lot easier than say 50 minutes up to Clifton Beach. But both of them are going to be easier to access anyway. The Coles in Clifton Beach will be easy because the bike trail will be completed, and it'll be quite a pleasant ride. I could take my e-bike along the beach for most of the trip until I divert up Endeavour Street towards the highway to get to the actual Coles. So both of the supermarkets will be easy to get to. Well, one because they've got the bike track, the Coles one, and in the other case the Woolworths just being built from scratch. So hopefully the earth moving equipment's done a bit of work since I was there last week when I went by on the bus. Hopefully there's more progress to be seen, and maybe they're doing foundation work now. They might have levelled off the block and got to that stage, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, this is a lovely place to walk. I'd prefer to do this. I could have walked up to the highway today to get the 110 bus. That's quite a decent walk too. That would be around half an hour to get up there. But it's much nicer here. And then besides, I want to check out the situation with the leisure trails, so see how that's going. What I've discovered is this particular camera I've got, this DJI Osmo action camera. It's been superseded by an Action Camera 3. That might have been why I got it so cheap from Harvey Norman. I think I only paid about $280 for this camera, which is chicken feed compared to what you pay for a GoPro. And I saw a guy actually do a review of this camera, a 360 camera, which I'm not sure who makes that, and GoPro. And GoPro came last because apparently GoPro has been suffering a lot of overheating problems with cameras, freezing and being unresponsive on the touch screen. So they've got major issues there apparently. I just find them too expensive personally. The value in this camera is amazing, and it's not perfect by any means. I've had situations where I'm recording stuff and it just cuts out, and that again, it may be the card I've got in there. So you can't always just blame the actual camera. But GoPro has had a lot of complaints apparently. I even saw a message from someone who actually was a customer service person for them and confirmed that they do have issues, and they haven't upgraded the hardware to handle the new software on the latter versions of GoPros. So apparently their share price has dipped a bit as well. So yeah, they're doing it tough right now. I think I'll just have to go back to basics. But, you know, to think that they could even manufacture a camera like that in America is just amazing, given the cost of labour over there compared to, say, Southeast Asia. So DJI, I think, is Chinese. So pretty hard to compete with them. Although even China now, labour costs are going up quite a bit. And that's why the likes of Vietnam is snaring a lot of their business. So they're running out of cheap factory labour in China. They're paying more, and they've got some major economic problems. Now, as far as my economic problem is concerned, I've got to worry about travel insurance, and that's a minefield, and it gets to be more of a minefield as you get older. Looks lovely over there. It's really nice walking near the beach. Love hearing the sea. Yeah, so I've been comparing policies, and I saw a review of one policy by a guy in Vietnam, just doing a general rundown of costs. He claims a mob called Safety Wing were good. He says he claimed with them during COVID and he had no complaints. However, I looked into it a bit further and found out that there'd been quite a few people complaining about them, about not having great customer service and what have you. So fair enough, he gives them a positive on his own personal experience, but you've got to look at those review sites to get an overview, I think. And I was gravitating towards Allianz, but again, they've got certain issues with customer service and claims, and that's where you always find out these insurance companies is how they handle claims seems to be the thing that really differentiates them. So they've had spotty history there too. They overall get a positive rating, like 4 out of 5. It's not bad, but you can't please everybody either, to be fair. But I've just checked out Zoom today, who are underwritten by Lloyd's of London, and they seem to have a policy that would suit me more. It appears as if I would be covered for riding on the back of a motorbike, on a grab bike in Vietnam. I've sent a message out to them just to confirm that, but from what I can see in their policy document, you are covered for that. It's only if you're the particular driver, then you have to have a valid license. Well, I can't get a driver's license because of my eyesight, but I think the criteria basically is that if you've got a grab bike, it needs to be driven by a licensed driver, which you would think is a given. If you're an actual grab biker, that to be one, you'd have to have a current driver's license, and you need to wear a helmet. That's fair enough. So I think I'd be okay. But again, with Allianz, they couldn't give me a straight answer on that. It also took a while to get back to me, at least a week. So I'll be interested to see if Zoom get back to me in the 48 hours and 72 hour time frame that they state. We'll see. I think 48 hours is reasonable for a reply to an email, but maybe I'm asking too much. Certainly I am when it comes to Allianz. They definitely need a week, which I think's a bit slow, but anyway. But what they sent was policy documents and stuff. You'd have to get an additional sports pack, so you'd have to pay for that, and there was no indication of what that would cost. Whereas it appears as in the Zoom one, it's actually covered, and if I just go with medical, I'll get a very cheap policy. I'd like to get a cancellation part as well. The only problem with Zoom is can't adjust the excess to say $500, which I'd be happy to do, because as I've said before, I regard insurance for situations that are catastrophic, so it'd need to be a bit of money spent to make it worthwhile. So I'd be happy to do that to get a lower premium. But they only got two options. One is a $100 excess and the other is a $200 excess, and they seem very low to me. So if I was able to increase that excess to 500, you'd see the premium drop quite substantially, and that's what I'd want. But I don't appear to have that flexibility with Zoom, unfortunately. So anyway, we'll see what they have to say about the in passenger thing, and I might just roll a dice and basically get a medical based policy, which is $100 cheaper. I think it's about $330 or sorry, $380 for the comprehensive, and so I think it's even more than, I think it's only about $250 or something for just pure medical. So it's quite a bit less. So it can do your head in when you're trying to work out insurance, comparing policies with policies. It can be a real minefield. Anyway, I've still got a bit of time to make that decision. I'm just preparing ahead. I don't want to make last minute decisions when travelling. I've got the luxury of time, I'm going to use it. Oh, look at that beautiful ocean. Ah, lovely. Ah. There's Double Island, a breeding ground for the stingers. Wonderful place. Well, we're getting close to the hot zone where the leisure trail construction is. So it'll be interesting to see if the surface has been prepared. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.